Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to the lesson on radius and diameter on Khan Academy. Let me show you how to get to this. First, we're going to go down and we're going to click on our mission for 7th grade. And that'll bring you to the entire dashboard for 7th grade. We'll scroll down a little bit and we're going to be working in geometry. So right here, give that a click. And if you scroll to the top of your queue, you'll see radius and diameter. Let's begin. Okay, what we want to do is before we start doing and solving these problems, in your notes, let's talk about what these two terms mean. We have the term radius and we have the term diameter. So I'm going to write those down, and as you take notes, you want to make sure that you get these two terms in your notes. These are perfect to practice so you can learn these terms and review them in your own time. So let's look at these words and what they sound like. Sometimes what words sound like can help us understand what they mean. So radius has the sound of the word ray in it. And what a ray is, if I were to draw a circle here to demonstrate, and I'm doing this on a stylus, so my circle may not be perfect, but let's check with a different color here. Let's put a point in the center of the circle, okay? It's hard to do points on this. All right, so let's say this is the center of our circle, right? And from the center of the circle, if we draw a line outward anywhere in the circle, so let's start with from there to there, the center to the outward edge, that has one starting point and it stops right about there. This is called a ray. And anywhere in the circle, let me pick a different color. If I were to draw another ray, it would be the exact same length as this ray right here. We do it again, different color, starting from the center, drawing a line perfectly straight out. That's a ray. And the distance from the center of your circle to anywhere on the outside of the circle is called a radius. Okay, so that is a radius. It's the distance from the center of your circle to the outside edge anywhere on the circle. Let me pick one more color and I'll show you again. So anywhere you draw this ray, say from here to here, as long as it's a straight line, it will be the same distance and the same length as all these other radii. Okay? Next word, we have the word diameter. Now the word di means through. So if you are going to draw a line through your circle anywhere, like if I were to start here and I'm going to go straight through the center of the circle, let's go slow, as long as it's perfectly straight through. It's hard to do again with a stylus, but that is a diameter. It's the full length from one end of the circle through the midpoint to the other end. Let's pick a different color and I'll show you again. Let's start at this side and I'll draw a line all the way through. It's hard to do it straight, I'm sorry. But that is a diameter. Here's a diameter. The diameter, again, from one end of the circle through the midpoint to the other end is a diameter. So the diameter, what you'll notice is that a radius is actually 1/2 the length of the diameter. So if this radius is 2, and this radius is 2, then the full length of that diameter, the two radii together, the full length of that diameter would be 4. Likewise, if this diameter here is 2, because we know that all these radii are the same length, if this is 2, and we draw it out, this is 2, then the full length of the diameter would be 4. Okay, so those are some important terms. Make sure that you put those in your notes, and as you study, make sure that you work hard to memorize those terms. And now let's do some problems. So what is the radius and diameter of the following circle? So what is this called again? Ah, yes, that is the diameter because it goes through the entire circle. And let me show you a visual here, something I've taught my students in the past. If you highlight your diameter and continue out on the outside edge here, doesn't that look like a D? It does look like a D, right? So that's a way also to remember that that's called a diameter. So the diameter has a length of 13 centimeters. What that means is if we're trying to find one of the radius, that would be half of this diameter. So if we take 13 and we divide it by 2, we're going to get 7.5. Excuse me, 6.5. Sorry, jumping ahead here. 6.5. So the length of your radius is 6.5 or 6.5. Okay, let's do another one here. All right, so we're given the radius. Remember, the radius is a ray that comes out from the center of your circle. That's how we remember it's a radius. Also, if you draw a line here, if you're a visual person, visual learner, and you can draw like a little R, you'll notice that that looks kind of like an R, another way for you to remember that's called the radius, right? So if the radius is 7.5, we can put that in our answer choice here. Then what is the diameter? Well, I know that it's 2 of this radius. So if the radius is 7.5 and I draw this line out and this is 7.5, then I'm going to do 7.5 plus 7.5, or 7.5 times 2, and I know I'm going to get, if I add my 5s, 5 and 5 is 10, drop our decimal down, carry the 1, we know it's going to be a length of 15. So your diameter, again, the full length from one end of this circle through the midpoint to the other end is going to be 15 centimeters. Let's do one more here. Okay. All right. What is the radius? Whoops. Sorry about that. Clicked off. What is the radius of this circle? Well, it says the diameter is 4. So if you're super visual, you could draw a picture. Let's draw a circle again. We know that the diameter, which is a point all the way through the midpoint, boop, boop. Say that's the center. Looks like a Pokeball, doesn't it? So through the center, we know this full length is 4. So if the full length is 4, what do each of these pieces have to be for the whole thing to equal 4? Well, they have to be 2 each, right? Because it's 2 groups of 2 to make that 4. So your radius would be 2.